Hello, welcome to episode 1 of the Birdsong Knits podcast. This is a knitting podcast. I also crochet and I like to cross stitch, but that's a little more scattered in with my knitting. So I am from the Chicago area and I live here with my husband and my son. And I homeschool my son. I stay at home and I homeschool. And he's at Vacation Bible School right now having a blast. So that's why I have some available recording time. So let's get started with what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing the LYS sweater. I'll stand up so you can see it. My head's gone, so I won't talk for a minute. LYS stands for Little Yellow Sweater, so it was originally designed in yellow, and I chose to also make it in yellow because I just loved it so much. It's designed by Andrea Mowry, and I started this took me a long time to make. I started this, excuse me, in September 1st, 2023, and I finished it May 10th, 2025. So it took me a year and a half to make. So I just kept setting it aside. It wasn't a difficult pattern necessarily, but of course I had to pay attention during the lace panel on each end, and then it's knit from the bottom up. Once you get to the raglan increases, you're paying attention to the lace, the raglan, and then the buttonholes as well. You're keeping track of how often to add the buttonholes. So it just required brain power, which I don't always have available. So anyway, I love it. I'm so glad I finished it. I knit it in the Fiber Co. Canopy Fingering, which is discontinued, in the mango colorway. I love this yarn, and I'm so sad that I can't get more. I do have a couple of skeins left, and I'm thinking about making socks with the leftovers. I've never made alpaca socks, but so this is, I'm sorry, it's 50% alpaca, 30% wool, and 20% bamboo, I think. Yeah. It's just lovely. It does have a little like prickle, but it's also, especially knitting with it, was really, really soft, and I think it would feel good. So anyway, the yarn is discontinued. The size I knit the smallest size, even though that's not, like, based on measurement, that's not the size I should have chosen. I have not added buttons. I was checking to see if I was showing the buttonhole side, not checking to see if I added buttons. I didn't put buttons on because I want to wear this open. The pattern picture, and I'll have my project linked in the description box below, so if you go to my project, and it will link to the pattern. And the pattern picture, I think it is Andrea Mowry actually wearing it, and it's maybe negative ease. It's very tight and buttoned up, and it's cute. This is a cropped sweater, and it looks cute. I just don't want to wear it that way. So for me, I left it open. Would have gotten buttons and put them on anyway, just for show, just for the detail, but I have not found the right ones. I want, I don't know the name of these. You know, the buttons that are curved on the top and have the little loop on the back. I want those in like the right yellow, which I have not found yet. So if I find them, I will add them someday. But I'm also happy to wear it without. So, all right, I think that's everything about the LYS, and this is what I'm wearing. So next is finished objects, and I have 2 to talk about. One I don't have, so I'll talk about it briefly. This one is what I called, my project name for it was the 2-week sweater, because I knit it in 2 weeks. It is a cropped sweater with 3/4 length sleeves, so, and it's knit in a DK weight, I think. Yeah, DK weight. So it was a quick knit, but it's important that it was a 2-week sweater. Here, I'll show it first and then I'll tell my story. So this is the minimalist cardigan I'll try and hold it up back here. So the story about the 2 weeks is that I was telling my son I had cast on a new sweater. My son is about to turn 8, by the way. I was telling him I cast on a new sweater and I was excited about it. That was my high for the day. And he teased me he was like, remember your 2-year sweater? And I was like, yes, I do remember that. And I'm hoping this is more like a 2-week sweater. And he's like, you can't knit a sweater for yourself in 2 weeks. And I was like, well, watch me. So I knew it was cropped and crop sleeves and all that. So I was like, I could do it. And I did, but I did have to use all of that time. I was not done early or anything. So again, this is the Minimalist Cable Cardigan. It's by Karina Spencer, and I knit the cropped version. There is a full length version and it's also beautiful, and I would also like to knit it. I would knit this again, and I would like to knit the full length version, and I have the yarn in my stash for it. So this yarn is Kelborn Woolen Scout in the oatmeal colorway, and I have, which is a lovely yarn. I used, I think, 3 skeins to knit the cropped version, and it's 100% wool. I have a maybe maroony, it's like maroon, purplish. It's a beautiful color of this same yarn, and I have plenty of yarn to make the full size sweater. So I would like to do that. I want to knit it again. Not right now, but definitely that's my plan for that yarn for sure. So I started this on May 19th, 2025 and finished it on June 2nd, 2025. And I also just want to add, I don't necessarily recommend this, but this is what I did. I did the medium size for the body, and I did the small size for the sleeves. I was worried they were going to be too big. When I was picking up the stitches, it just looked really big. I don't think if I could do it again, I would have done medium all the way through. So, and this one I can and do close. It has 3 buttons at the bottom. This is just for the cropped version. It just has the 3 little buttons, and it kind of comes to a V here, and then they're right there, and kind of in the front of my bust. It looks great with the dress. So I was really happy with that knit. The second finished object that I'm going to talk about are socks for my my friend's daughter. I gave them to her yesterday, so I don't have them. I will try and either add a picture of the finished socks, or definitely I have the link to the project in the description box below. So the pattern I used was Socks on a Plane, and by Laura Linneman, and I really like this pattern. I've used it several times now. It has a cable running along one side of the sock. I like to put them on the outer edge, but you could swap. I mean, there's nothing else about this sock makes it a left or a right, so you could really wear it on either side. So you could wear it with the 2 cables in the middle or the 2 cables on the outer edges. I'm not sure if that made sense. 1 cable on the sock, it's along an edge, and it's a really simple sock. Most of the time you're just knitting, but in this, like, let's see, is it either maybe a 10 stitch section that you're focusing on the cable. So it's fun. I loved it. I used Claudia hand painted yarns in the teal party colorway, and I think this is this is not a discontinued yarn. It's Claudia hand painted yarns Addiction is the fingering weight that I used, and it was 100% superwash merino. Hopefully she doesn't wear a hole in them, but it's okay if she does, because I will happily knit her more. She was a very gracious recipient. She's very knit worthy. She knits herself. I'm thinking about taking her my stash of sock leftovers that are more than 40 grams, because I could easily, it was more or less a shorty sock. I gave her like maybe that much of a leg, which is she seemed happy with. I could make her tons of socks, because those are just sitting there. They would fit, it would be easy to make her size with those. So she's a US 4 women, so it's not quite a full size sock, but and I think I cast on, did I do 48 stitches for her? She's a thin girl, so I did not, it wasn't a lot of stitches, so it was a quick knit. And maybe it was 48. I can't remember for sure. It might have been 52, but definitely that will be in my project notes. So, all right, works in progress. I have two that I'm going to talk about. I'll do my blanket first since I just did a sock. This is called my Barkley Love Blankets. Barkley's the name of my dog. And I was, I was starting this, I started this project when he was passing away. And, it was kind of over a period of time, and it was very, I was emotionally distraught, to say the least. It was very hard, and I didn't want to knit. Even though knitting is like my daily therapy, when I'm sick or like emotionally stressed, I don't like to knit. So I had caked up, there's a lot to tell about this blanket. I had caked up the yarn for this blanket and set it aside. It was ready to cast on. I was going to knit it in a blanket by Molly of a Homespun House. I forget the name of it now, but it's the one, she holds two fingering weights together and just garter stitch, but it's mini skein, so it's like an undyed or whatever main color you want to do with a mini skein, and then you just switch the mini skeins and it kind of becomes striping, a marled kind of striping because of the undyed. So that was what I was planning to knit it with, but I did not want to knit. It had been sitting there for about a month, and I really wanted to work with the colors. The bright colors were drawing me in, but I didn't want to knit, so I decided to cast on a crochet blanket. And it turns out crochet is like crocheting a blanket especially is real therapy for me. It has been very helpful. And I was remembering once I cast it on that the last time I crocheted a blanket was when I broke my ankle, and I was down emotionally and physically, just flat out, not doing much. And I crocheted a blanket, and it was helpful to me then too. So crochet blanket therapy, that's apparently the way to go. So this is the Granny Stripe Blanket by Attic 24. I put in my project notes how many I chained at the beginning. I'm thinking it's something like 125. It's 48 inches wide. This is fingering weight held double, and I'll go into the yarn details in a minute, but I'm just going to hold it up for now. So I'll just kind of scroll through here so you can see all the different colors. Maybe I'll stand up. Okay. So that is it was the intended length. I was going to have my stripes going horizontally. Forgot when I was casting on, just wasn't thinking about much except I need some therapy. Forgot how much more yarn you use in crochet. Drastically more. And so while I had the perfect amount for the knit blanket, it is not enough for this crochet blanket for me to do. Like, I wanted to do 4 feet wide by 6 feet, maybe not 6 feet, but like 5 feet long, maybe a little over 5 feet. I'm only 5'3", so I don't need much more than that, but I do not have that much yarn, and I don't want to invest that much more into this blanket because this is not acrylic yarn. I don't know if I've ever done, no, that's not true. But generally, an economical yarn is the way to go for a crochet blanket because there's just going to be a lot used. And I don't have the funds to go full size with this blanket. So that being said, I love this yarn. So the mini skeins that I used are by, I'm going to hold up this skein, but this is a sock set, not the mini skeins, by Cricket's Fibers. So she had on Etsy, and she still does, so I will link it below, these sets of 5 skein minis. and they were just beautiful. I ordered one and I was going to put it in a different blanket I was working on a while ago, and I got it and I was like, these can't go with anything else. I need a whole blanket of minis like this. So I ordered 4 more from her. She made sure they were all separate, like unique for me. And so I had 5 sets of mini skeins, 25 minis, 25 20-gram minis total, which is what you need for that other blanket. That's the yarn. This is the mini skeins that I used, and it's 80% superwash merino wool, 20% nylon. And she just does this great, there's a little bit of speckling in this one, but she kind of does a great, just, I don't know, her colors are wonderful. I have more. So this one I showed you, here's green and pink, blue and orange. This one's called Mountain Dawn. I should have done that. This one was citrus blooms, maybe plural, and crimson confetti. Golden hour. I'll talk about why I have all these sock sets in just a minute. Anyway, these are all lovely, just like her mini skeins are. And then for the undyed, I'm using Surefoot Sock by Knit Picks Undyed, and it is, I didn't write this down, and I don't have a skein in front of me right now. I do, but not one with a label. I don't have a label right in front of me. This is my last of the 5. I want to hold it up because I want to see, can you see just that little bit of halo? The one that Molly used in the Homespun House knitted blanket that I'm not doing, she used, I don't know if it had mohair or what, but she definitely had halo on it, and it looked really pretty in the blanket. So I wanted something like that. This is not the same. I'm pretty sure this is wool for sure. I mean, it's not the same idea even, but it is really lovely. I really like this yarn, and in fact, I bought more, partially for this blanket, which I'll explain in a minute, and partially for whatever future projects. I just know I'll use it a lot. I like having the bare undyed yarn for my blankets to mix with leftover sock yarn or whatever. So the reason I have these is I decided to put a border on this blanket. So it's 48 inches wide. I have not measured it. I only have 1 mini skein left to add, plus one more, I'll do 1 more undyed stripe. So it's, what if I hold it this way? So now this will be the width, not my 4 feet, because I'm turning it. So it will go this way. It's really stretching because I'm holding it like this, and it's heavy. Fingering weight held double. This is heavy. It feels lovely when it's laying on you, but it's stretching as I hold it. Anyway, so I'm guessing it'll be maybe 36 to 40 inches wide. So it won't quite be a square, but it's a great lap Afghan size. It is a good size for me. Like if I'm sitting in a chair and I just flop it over, that's wonderful. So I will put it in my normal seating area and enjoy it. But I want to add a border because I saw someone else did it and I thought it was really pretty. I will probably do, I think it uses 4 rounds total. So I'll do a round of undyed, a round of one of these sets that I got, and then undyed, and then the final color on the outside. Oh, maybe I'll switch that. I have to think about that. Do I want undyed as the last one? It's a picot edge at the very end, something like that, I think. And I bought 4 colors because I didn't think through that I would not need, that I would put in the undyed as well. But I definitely want to put the undyed around the edge. It's totally fine. I'll be happy to knit those sock sets up as socks, and they're beautiful. I love them. All right, these are the Iris socks. I guess I forgot to say about the last thing I'll say about the Barkley Love blanket is I started on June 9th. It's June 23rd today. I didn't say that. 24th. It's June 24th. So I've been working on it a couple weeks. These are the Iris socks. They are for my mother. The Virtual Iris is the name of the colorway, which is why I'm calling them the Iris socks. That's not her name or anything. Try to hold those up there for you. My little cat is flipped around. He likes to do that. He doesn't like to hang straight for me. I got these on Etsy somewhere. This little stitch markers, a little hanging cat. My son loves cats, and I remember buying this with him in mind. It's like the way a mother would hold a cat. I don't know, it's cute. So anyway, these are almost finished, but I think they might be too big. I was running off. I was following what I had done on what is currently her favorite pair of socks, which is 68 stitches. I knit those a long time ago, and I think my gauge has changed. This is also kind of a, I don't think I'm gonna have to start saving my ball bands, but the labels. I think this is under 400 yards to the 100 grams. So I think it's a little bit of heavyweight fingering, and that might be also contributing to the size. So I'm just gonna have her try it on before I finish it or knit the second one. I'll probably make a little more of the toe, maybe even knit up to the point where you would Kitchener, and then I'll stop and let her try it on tomorrow. And then if it's too big, no worries. I will rip it out and knit it again, because knitting is knitting, and sometimes it's irritating to pull back, especially when it's a really big project. But this is a sock. It's a shorty sock that had like 5 rows before I started 5 rows of ribbing before I started the ankles, so it's no big deal. I started those on June 19th, so see, it's been 5 days, and I basically knit a sock. And I'm knitting the Hermione's Everyday socks. Her favorite ones were with that pattern, and it was 68 stitches, but they have just a little bit of ribbing. Those are a free pattern, but I'm not going to go into all the details anyway, but they're wonderful. They have a pearl throughout, so it kind of gives it a ribbing texture, which means that it pulls in a bit, which I think is what she likes on her foot, which is why I'm worried. I don't want these to be big, because the whole point is that they're kind of cinching on her foot. That's what she's looking for. So I have time. Okay, really quick, I'm gonna do dream knitting. These are what I want to cast on next. Number 1, 4th of July socks. We go to the fireworks every year, and right by our house, it's very close by, we host a party, and then we all walk over and watch the fireworks. I'm hoping to be knitting on these when the fireworks are happening. This is by the Yarnbrary, and it's the biography sock set. I'm going to link to these in the description box, because there's still 3 other ones, not this colorway, 3 other colorways available, and they all tie into American history. I think women of American history. So this one is Betsy Ross, potentially, I think history is unclear, but potentially the designer of the original American flag. Has a little American flag stitch marker, so cute. I would love to use this as heel, cuffs, and toes, but I'm not. Is 20 grams enough to do all 3? Heels, heel, cuff, and toes in a mini skein in the alternate color. I'm not sure. I know I could probably do cuffs and toes, or heels and toes. I feel like I could do 2 of the 3 for sure, but I'm not sure if I could do. So maybe let me know. Have you done it? And then I just love the speckling. Isn't that pretty? So I don't know, maybe you can find this somewhere else. I found this in someone's D-stash on Etsy. So, but the D-stash had 3 other colorways. So I will share that in case you want to grab some maybe for next year. You probably won't be in time for the 4th of July this year, but yeah, if you're in the US and that sounds fun, then maybe you could get them and save it for next year. No pressure to buy. I don't want to have that kind of podcast. Last thing I'll talk about is a sweater that I want to cast on. It's called the Darjeeling Blouse. It's cropped, short sleeves, has a picot border at the bottom of the body and the sleeves, plus some lace, and then the rest is simple. So I'm not going to be wearing this over pants like she is, but I would like to wear it over dresses. And again, I'll make it so I can close it. I'm going to use Concept by Katia Cotton Cashmere. Sorry, it's hard to do. It's the talent, a skill you have to learn. It's 80%, I think, no, 90% cotton and 10% cashmere. It feels very nice. We'll see how it feels to knit with it. I haven't cast it on yet because she's very clear in the pattern that you need a lot of time set aside to cast on because of the picot edge, because it is knit bottom up. So the cast on is that picot edge. So no problem. I'm excited to start it, and I will do it when I have some bandwidth. So I don't have to cake up the yarn. It'll be a moment. I'll be like, I have an hour. Let me sit down. I don't know. Maybe I need to. We'll see. I think that's it. I need to go pick up my son. This was really fun. I hope it was fun for you. And, maybe you'll consider subscribing. Come back for episode 2. I would love to be podcasting once a week. Next week we're on vacation. So I'm not sure what's going to happen next week. It probably won't happen. But after that, hopefully we'll be more consistent. So thank you so much for being here, and I would love if in the comments below you let me know who you are, introduce yourself, and maybe let me know what you're dreaming about knitting, or if you have any 4th of July plans. Also let me know about that 20 gram mini if you know. All right, bye friends.